Are you more inclined to collaborate with others? I repeated, maintaining a calm tone as my nails pressed into my palm hidden beneath the desk. Seated across from me, my manager, Helen Price, occupied her corner office with a commanding view of downtown Chicago. In his mid-50s, the blazer clung uncomfortably, while his smile gleamed with an almost artificial sheen. She reclined, her voice sweet and smooth. "Camille, your brilliance shines through. However, Ray Ellis, she possesses an undeniable allure. People enjoy her company. She simply presents less complexity. More straightforward. Not necessarily more skilled, not inherently more successful, simply more convenient." I had reached the age of 41. At the age of 35, I embarked on a new journey with Westlake Strategies, leaving my teaching career behind and immersing myself fully into the world of corporate life. 6 years spent navigating the shadows of midnight reports, crafting last-minute presentations, and rescuing client accounts that others deemed untouchable. I successfully doubled our Midwest portfolio, reimagined a training system, and eliminated nearly $2 million in operational waste for the company. Yet Ray Ellis, with her lunch selfies and meticulously crafted girl boss quotes, was the one receiving the promotion. I observed Helen feign the act of shuffling papers, anticipating my gratitude, my acknowledgement of her supposed grace. Instead, I placed a pristine white envelope on her desk. "I appreciate the feedback," I said, a serene smile gracing my lips. "I hereby submit my resignation, which will take effect 2 weeks from today." Helen's poise wavered. "Camille, hold on, we need to discuss this." I insisted there was no necessity. "Your clarity resonates, and my attention is firmly set on the results. I have made the decision to depart." What she remained unaware of, what had escaped everyone's attention, was that while Ray Ellis focused on pleasing others, I had been quietly constructing my own leadership development firm, completely registered, steadily expanding, and profitable since the second quarter. Today was not a loss. Rather, I simply transcended the confines of the space I occupied. If each word resonates with your own narrative, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned, for what Camille embarks on next will demonstrate that stepping away is not a sign of defeat, but rather a path to elevation. A revelation that would render Helen's promotion decision a mere spectacle, devoid of any genuine merit. Upon exiting her office, a palpable shift coursed through the River North floor of Westlake Strategies. All eyes shifted, chatter faded into silence, and I could sense Ray Ellis envisioning the perfect spot for her girl boss poster above my worn desk. Yet, I proceeded with a serene determination, making my way back to my domain as if it were merely another Monday. For nestled within that resignation envelope was a second document, one that would surely cause Helen to sputter on her artisan latte. The next fortnight, the stage awaits. Ray Ellis glided through the bullpen, a latte cradled in her hand, her thoughts illuminated by an inner spotlight. On the 4th day, she leaned over my cubicle wall, a smug half-smile playing on her lips. "Camille, I trust you aren't feeling too disheartened. I understand how much you desired that position." For a fleeting moment, our eyes locked, as I meticulously backed up 3 years of metrics, training manuals, and workflow optimizations. Not to claim, but to record. Each dollar conserved, every system I crafted, every result linked to my team. "No hard feelings whatsoever, Ray Ellis," I remarked, a cool smile gracing my lips. "You will radiate brilliance." She departed, a sense of satisfaction enveloping her, yet the foundation of those results remained a mystery to her. 3 years ago, driven by frustration, I embarked on the journey of creating my own adaptive team performance software, entirely outside of company hours and without utilizing their resources. Last week, the patent received its approval. The second page of my resignation meticulously outlined its ramifications, highlighting the millions in revenue and retention intricately linked to my intellectual property. Just a week later, an email arrived from Jared Knox, the CEO of Architect Solutions, our leading competitor. As we sipped our coffee, he presented me with something beyond just a position. He extended the promise of equity, the gift of autonomy, and the allure of a bright future. He deftly pushed a contract across the table. "We've been waiting for someone like you," Jared said, his voice unwavering, filled with genuine warmth. A person who recognizes that true legacies are forged through outcomes rather than mere appearances. As I affixed my signature to the partnership agreement, a subtle transformation stirred within me. This was the essence of true recognition, not mere applause for superficiality, but a deep respect for genuine substance. As I handed in my access badge on my last day at Westlake Strategies, Helen summoned me into her glass-walled office for one final meeting. The serene facade she consistently presented had begun to shatter. Her voice quivered. "Camille, it is imperative that we have a conversation regarding the report you included with your resignation." With fingers that trembled slightly, she raised the printed document high. "What kept you from sharing the details of this platform you created with us?" I took my seat opposite her, carefully adjusting the hem of my navy blazer. "I did respond," I said. "3 distinct proposals have emerged over the past 2 years. You brushed aside every suggestion, asserting that your main focus was enhancing the interpersonal dynamics among the various departments." Her gaze swept over the pages, the hue fading from her complexion as she took in the information. "Cost efficiencies, streamlined processes, anticipatory project planning. What is this? Is it patented?" she inquired, her voice scarcely rising above a whisper. I inclined my head in agreement. "Last fall, I submitted my application, and it has now received full approval. I am pleased to announce that I have accepted an equity partnership at RK Tech Solutions. Preparations are underway to implement it across the entire organization." With a sudden breath, Helen released a sharp exhale. "RK Tech? Camille, I must insist. No, it is not possible. That stands as our main rival in the Midwest. What is the essence of loyalty?" I inclined my head ever so slightly. "Allegiance? Are you referring to the moment when you chose to celebrate Ray Ellis's allure instead of acknowledging my efforts? Or was it when you dismissed my suggestions simply because I hadn't organized enough cheerful gatherings? Yet, I chose not to wait. If you had prioritized results over workplace dynamics, we wouldn't find ourselves in this situation. We will align with their proposal. Senior Vice President, please remain. Stott." The title was never the essence of it all. It revolved around the essence of being appreciated. As I stepped away, the sound of frantic dialing echoed behind me. Yet, what of the damage? It is complete. If you hold the conviction that respect is something to be earned rather than pleaded for, and you're eager to witness Camille's next creation, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss the moment she transforms from underestimated to unstoppable. The patent belonged to me. Is the ink dry on the partnership agreement? Arid? What about Ray Ellis? Indeed, she was on the brink of discovering the harsh truth that charm has the power to unlock opportunities. Yet it's only substance that prevents them from crashing down. As the evening drew to a close and I gathered the final remnants of my belongings, my gaze fell upon a sticky note affixed to my monitor. "It's disheartening to bid you farewell. Keep in contact. Ray Ellis." With a sly grin, I crumpled the paper and sent it sailing into the bin. She would soon hear my name once more. The entirety of the industry would indeed. Stepping into Architect Solutions on my first day was akin to entering an entirely different universe. The beige walls and the passive-aggressive threads of Slack had vanished. My new office offered a breathtaking view of Lake Michigan, adorned with floor-to-ceiling windows and a sleek design. A nameplate on the door proudly displayed the words, "Cam Bennett, Partner, Strategy, and Systems Innovation." Yet, the true transformation lay beyond the title. It was the reverence. Darrell Lewis, the CEO, convened a comprehensive all-hands meeting to extend a warm welcome to me. Yet, it was far from an ordinary onboarding address. He recounted my tale. He discussed the platform I had created, its quantifiable effects, and the ways it had already transformed the operations of firms. Her efforts have preserved countless lives. It is exceptional, it has been validated, and this is merely the outset. At Westlake, I lingered like a specter behind the curtain. At Architect, I found myself in the limelight as the chief creator. And then, 3 months later, arrived the moment that solidified it. In the midst of the strategy workshop, my phone vibrated with a notification, a note from Tariq Henderson, one of the remaining astute thinkers at Westlake. Peruse the latest headlines. A significant revelation has just emerged. I quietly entered my office and brought up the headline. Westlake Strategies experiences a 30% client loss following Q2 systems failure. The piece was merciless. Deadlines that slipped away. Escalating expenditures. 3 premier clients departed. The report painted a picture of Westlake's internal systems as fragmented, antiquated, and disturbingly reliant on processes that remain undocumented. Yet, a particular quote resonated deeply, coming from a former client of mine. "The service has collapsed," declared Thomas Kwan, CEO of Terra Nova Solutions. "There was a time when we placed our trust in Westlake for enterprise-level integrations. At this moment, they struggle to meet even the most fundamental deadlines. The very foundation of their operation seems to have vanished." A smile graced my lips. "Ted, I was the very essence of strength. The system they had underestimated, disregarded, and entrusted to an individual utterly lacking in the knowledge required to maintain it." A second notification chimed, this time from Tari. "Ray Ellis is experiencing a complete breakdown in the break room." I reclined, the sunlight dancing upon the lake surface and cascading into my workspace. Revenge was not a necessity for me. Results were achieved. If you've ever felt overlooked, marginalized, or overshadowed by someone more boisterous yet significantly less skilled, consider subscribing to the channel. Camille's ascent is merely beginning, and what lies ahead promises to transform the entire industry. For years, Ray Ellis had perfected the art of imitation, echoing industry jargon and flashing a disarming smile to gain entry into spaces she felt she had not earned. Yet now, was she truly exposed? And Helen, who prioritized looks over skill, was witnessing the consequences of her choice unfold before her eyes. In the background, I was orchestrating grander schemes. At Architect, my system was more than merely operational. It was transformative. The duration of project timelines was reduced by 52%. The scores reflecting client satisfaction have reached unprecedented heights. What are the operational KPIs? Beyond measure. Jared had given the green light for a comprehensive rollout across various divisions, and negotiations were underway with 3 Fortune 100 companies to license my platform. I was underestimated by them. They are now making an effort to close the gap. On a brisk Thursday morning, 6 months after my departure from Westlake Strategies, I entered my architect office to discover Jared Knox poised by my desk, clutching a neatly folded edition of the Chicago Business Ledger. "Have you come across this?" he inquired, lifting the paper aloft. The front page headline proclaimed, "Westlake Strategies unveils emergency restructure in the wake of mass departures and system collapse." I grasped the paper and gave a subtle nod. I beheld. "It appears that they are taking apart everything." Jared remarked that they are finally acknowledging the extent of their mismanagement regarding their personnel. "They endeavored to reconstruct your platform internally, yet they failed to grasp the underlying foundation." I spoke fully aware of the truth. What they perceived as mere code was, in truth, the underlying logic that rendered it scalable. Jared offered me a deliberate, understanding smile, the sort that arises from observing the intricate dance of events over time. "That is precisely why the board reached a unanimous decision to elevate your position," he stated. "Beginning next week, you will assume the role of Executive Vice President of Strategic Innovation. Your enhancements to our systems have not merely refined them, they have fundamentally altered our trajectory." A gentle warmth blossomed within my chest. This is the essence of true recognition, not mere applause for compliance, but genuine respect for the creation of something substantial. As the afternoon waned, the skyline of Chicago shimmered in golden hues beneath the setting sun, and an unexpected email arrived in my inbox. Subject: Apology from Helen Price. "I trust you're aware of the unfolding events at Westlake. I wish to convey that I made a mistake. To dismiss your work was the gravest error of my professional journey. The board is now aware. They are aware of what you have created and the sacrifices we have endured. Last week, I made the decision to resign. Ray Ellis departed from her position a month ago. It appears that deliverables are impervious to charm." I gazed at the screen, a silent tempest of feelings playing across my features. The moment of validation had finally come. Though it wasn't a necessity, it held a certain poetic charm nonetheless. The correspondence from Helen persisted. "I understand that the moment has passed and nothing can alter the past. Yet I felt compelled to share this with you. You were indeed correct. The significance of results cannot be overstated. I only wish I had recognized that earlier. Warm regards, Helen. I perused it on 2 separate occasions. Once a message of that nature could have stirred something deep within me, when even a belated acknowledgement could have sufficed to mend past scars. Yet that moment had faded into the past. In my corner office at Architect Solutions, sunlight danced upon the glass frame, encasing my patent certificate. Behind me, a gleaming plaque commemorates our most successful quarter to date. A pristine copy of Forbes rests on the shelf. Its pages turn to a feature that heralds me as one of the top 10 women reshaping the landscape of tech innovation. Helen's message had ceased to be a reckoning. It was merely a footnote. I pressed the reply button and began to type. Thank you for your message. Indeed, you are correct. The significance of results cannot be overstated. I extend my best wishes for your future endeavors. Message. I pressed the send button and surveyed my surroundings in the office. Each fragment of it, every measure of reverence within this realm, had been rightfully acquired, not endowed with special talents, not exchanged for, constructed. The following morning, I convened a comprehensive team meeting. The room soon brimmed with life. Engineers, analysts, and designers. No soul was present to make an appearance. They had come, driven by a deep sense of concern. After we found our place, I rose to my feet. Before we embark on our next significant rollout, I mentioned, I would like to share a brief tale concerning the ability to identify it in others, and regarding the importance of never allowing others to determine your value. Nods of agreement filled the room. Gaze intensified. At this moment, we were crafting something grander, united in our efforts. As I spoke, I noticed a ripple of agreement as heads began to nod. Gaze intensified. Individuals inclined closer, not merely to my words, but to the significance that underlies them. They grasped the essence. They recognized that this company, our company, was not driven by image or ego. It was propelled by a steadfast commitment to integrity. Regarding bravery, in the conviction that silent resilience, when harmonized with intention, fosters change. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I eased my vehicle to a halt at the traffic signal, glancing at Westlake's strategies in the fading light. Their formerly proud logo, engraved upon the building's facade, appeared worn and faded now. Shaded by the passage of time and the weight of consequence, a for lease sign flickered feebly in the 4th-floor window, reducing one's possessions, once more. Yet, I found no sense of smugness within me. A wave of gratitude washed over me. Thankful they remained unaware of my presence. Thankful for their decision to overlook my creation. Thankful, for in their act of releasing me, they granted me the freedom to create something greater. For it is often true that the most profound blessings arrive cloaked in the guise of rejection. At times, an unwavering focus on outcomes is precisely the trait that propels you forward without restraint. At times, the most powerful reaction to being undervalued is to create something so profound that it captures their full attention. The soft vibration of my phone interrupted the stillness. The screen illuminated with a message from Tariq. The board at Westlake is inquiring about your well-being. There are inquiries about your potential return as CEO. I gazed at the screen, my fingers moving deliberately as I began to type a response. Thank you, Tariq. Yet, I find myself precisely in the right place. True success lies not in the desire to return and vindicate oneself. It revolves around the journey of affirming your own beliefs. It revolves around maintaining a steadfast belief in your own worth, particularly in moments when others remain indifferent. It's a matter of standing firm in your own truth, rather than diminishing yourself for the ease of others, and instead, embracing the journey toward your own aspirations. And the tale truly unfolds from that point onward. As I eased my car into the garage of my Lincoln Park townhome, my mind wandered to the myriad of other Camillas scattered across the world. Humble artisans engaged in remarkable endeavors, perpetually overlooked for not raising their voice or engaging in the intricacies of the political arena. Perhaps this tale, the one I experienced, will resonate with one of them. Perhaps this will serve as the catalyst they require to cease their longing for validation and embark on their journey of creation independently. For in certain moments, rejection may not signify an impassable barrier. It is a redirection. You embrace the rejection, you welcome the quiet, and you transform it into a driving force. Within the frameworks, the platforms, and the legacies lies the truth that your essence was always too vast for their comprehension. As I settled into my home office that evening, poring over global licensing proposals for the system I had once crafted in secrecy, a profound tranquility enveloped me. Above my desk, encased in a sleek matte black frame, hung the quote that Helen had once flung at me, sharp and stinging like an insult. Your attention is overly directed towards outcomes. She was not mistaken. Is that the focus? This is precisely what led me to this moment, to those in positions of guidance, to the spirit of innovation, to elucidation, to the spot where I was destined to be, according to my own standards. Your journey to this point is appreciated. Thank you. Indeed, this narrative transcended my own experience. It encompassed every individual who has faced the judgment of being deemed excessive, overly dedicated, excessively earnest, or simply lacking in all the misguided ways. If you found a reflection of yourself in my journey, I would love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Share with me the chapter you find yourself in within your narrative. It's a familiar ache, that sense of isolation that creeps in when you're pouring your heart into your work, achieving tangible results, yet still finding yourself overlooked. I've experienced that myself. Rest assured, you are not unseen, you are not conjuring illusions, and your desires are not excessive. All you seek is the respect that is due for the value you contribute. If this tale resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe, not merely to keep up with what unfolds next, yet to join a community that values understated power, in achievements that are hard-won, in perseverance that goes unnoticed. We are in the process of creating something remarkable. For individuals such as ourselves, should I impart a single nugget of wisdom, it would be this. Cease the endless anticipation for approval. Cease the act of diminishing yourself to accommodate their ease. Do not allow another's failure to recognize your worth to diminish your own belief in it. Transform their skepticism into your driving force. Embrace their silence as a canvas for your creativity. Continue to make your presence felt. Continue to create. For there will come a day when they understand the depth of their loss. By that time, you will have found yourself in a place far more favorable, a place crafted by your own two hands. This is your moment of clarity. This is your time to shine. There is no need for you to demonstrate their errors. One must simply validate their own beliefs, and I shall remain here, fervently supporting you.